सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। परमानन्दमाधवम्। Hari Om. So, we are in this beautiful land, this holy land called Bharata. So, what is Bharata? Bha as in that which is Prakasha, right? And Rata is one who is constantly engaged in that rati, in that prakasha of this bha. So if we are in Bharata and we are not pursuing this highest pursuit of Brahma Vidya, of the knowledge of the highest truth, which is our own true self, then we are not Bharatiya. So otherwise, whoever it is, wherever they are based, and if we are aware of this ancient knowledge of the Shastra, which is educating us holistically about the self, then yes, we are truly Bharatiya, no matter what our nationality. Okay, so coming back to Arjuna and what he has come upon now, so Bhagwan has tried his best to shake him out of his this confusion, and he truly admits, Arjuna admits that I am confused, I don't know what I am doing here, I don't think we should be fighting, so, and I don't know whether my thinking is even right, though I have put a lot of reasons why should we go for war, or rather why we should not go for war. And I am unable to get a clear picture as to what I should be doing, O Bhagwan. In fact, I feel that I should just quit. I should just take a begging bowl and become a sannyasi and leave from here. And Bhagwan says, he tries to put the harshest of words to shake Arjuna out of this reverie he has gone into. And he says that, in fact, he calls him impotent also. He said, has some kind of impotency come upon you? That you, the best of warriors, those people who look upon you as heroes, what will they think? You will not get anything good from this, nor are you going to get a seat in Swarga, nor are you going to get any kind of fame. You will only be, shamed out of this kind of conduct of yours. And that, the very thing that you have got these kind of thoughts, it means that there is something truly wrong here, right? So now if we try to understand why Arjuna has come upon this kind of a fate, then one thing is, even though he seems to have lost his balance, he thinks that, his thinking is right. And he has, out of his wisdom, of years, or or whatever experience he has gained, or whatever knowledge he has gained, be it even the Vedic knowledge, he has completely analyzed his situation through that knowledge. And he also thinks that maybe Bhagwan has not correctly understood what he has said. So he tries to rearrange his thoughts also, and he tries to tell Bhagwan that why he thinks that it is incorrect for him to go to war. And he specifically says that, Bhishma and Drona, how can I fight them? They are my elders, they are my teacher, and I can't even raise my eyes up to them. What to then speak of, my instruments of this bow and arrow? How can I go and shoot them? And how can I bring them down in this war? So this outcome of it, I feel, is going to lead to just direct sin only, is what he thinks. So he has come upon a situation of grief, thinking of how his relation to these people is going to affect his conduct in this war. And therefore he also goes on to say that, I am unable to see clearly, because of this doubt that has come, because of my relationship with these people, I am unable to, think clearly whether what I am going to perform is dharma or whether it is adharma. So he calls himself himself as a dharma asammudha. He's thinking of himself as a mudha. He doesn't know what to do, what is right and what is wrong. That is not clearly available to his intellect to discern right now. And then he further out of this kind of thinking only, then it comes to him that, if I am not clear, what should I do? What should I do in this kind of a situation? So he bows down to Bhagwan. So even out of this non-clarity, for him it is clear that when this kind of a situation befalls him or any right-minded person, what should he do? What should the person do? They should take the advice of a wise person. They should take the advice of that which will give them the correct guidance towards dharma, right? Because here he says his dharma is not clear to him. Out of this moha which has come upon him, out of this delusion which has come upon him, he is unable to think clearly. So therefore, next step, what does he do? Next step is he does Guru Upasatti. What is Guru Upasatti? It is going closer to the Guru. One whom we regard as the one with a higher wisdom, with a higher knowledge in that particular field where we are having some kind of doubt. What should we do? We should approach that person and gain clarity when we are unable to decide for ourselves, because our decision will definitely be clouded by some or the other confusion, and later we will regret it. So why not take that advice from the person who is experienced, who is knowledgeable, who is well read in that particular field, right? And here Arjuna is clear that his problem is not limited to the war alone, because it is going to lead to some kind of papa as per him, and that is going to lead to dharma and adharma. That lies in the area of dharma and adharma. So he wants a permanent kind of solution. He is not seeking a solution which is just for that particular moment, to clear his decision making skill with regards to the war. Here he is seeking much more clarity in terms of a life situation, about the very purpose of life itself, in fact, right? So here, in the in the 7th verse also he goes on to put forth his problem, and then in the 8th verse he goes on to the Guru Upasatti also, right? And so what does he say over there? He says, first in the 7th verse he says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So he first puts up his problem, and he says that I have got this buddhi dosha, okay, that karpanya dosha, which might seem like that of a miser, not being able to make a decision between whether to spend or not spend. But here it is more related to an intellectual kind of worry which has come about him, where he is not clear on what should be his decision. So here that is the buddhi dosha. That karpanya dosha is more of a buddhi dosha, and then he says that what can I do, Bhagwan, but I can only seek your guidance in this matter, and I am not seeking clarity as a friend or the one who is seated in this chariot whom you are going to ride, right? So I am seeking clarity from one who knows the situation from a very high top view, okay? And also someone who knows what is the best for me, what is the highest shreya for me. From that aspect, oh Bhagwan, you give me clarity. So now here one thing we have to understand is this Guru Upasatti. It is so important. One is that we can't just get answers by googling for them. Nowadays many times we do that, but there are some situations where Google is not going to help us, and or just searching our intellect is going to help us. We need this kind of a higher guidance. So whom do we approach at that time, right? So here also approaching the teacher to gain clarity is what Arjuna is doing. Here is the situation where he has thought over and over. He has come to a logical conclusion also, but he knows somewhere, because his conscience is still doubting his own thinking, and therefore he himself is going over and over with it, and then he has finally gone silent in his thinking, and he is saying, Bhagwan, now you guide me because I am unable to think. So here he says that in where one is unclear, where one realizes that they are in some kind of a non-clarity, or rather their thinking is clouded by some other emotions, then what should one do? One is that sit down quietly and think think what is it that is the true problem over there, and where can I get that solution from? It is only the scriptures. When it comes to the matters of life, of course, it is only the scriptures that can guide us clearly. And who can help us approach those scriptures? It is one who has already gone through those scriptures, gained that kind of a status where they are able to experience that truth of the scriptures, right? And here it is Bhagwan alone who is there to guide Arjuna, and through Arjuna only we are also getting that same guidance, right? So this beautiful relationship of a guru and shishya is such that to go to the guru, one should be clear of what is it that we are asking about. Going and asking about simple day-to-day matters, is it going to help? Oh Guru, can I at this time have this particular food or no? Go to a dietitian. Probably they will be able to give you a better guidance. Oh Guru, do you think it is the right weather? it seems to be hot outside, but I am going to Kashmir. So what kind of clothes should I carry? So no, of course, that is also again not a relevant question to ask the Guru. But when one is in this kind of a situation where it is not clear and the answers are not definitely not going to come from the world, right? So when there is that kind of a dharma sankat, we might say, then is the world going to answer my questions? No. At that time, I need a stronger base, I need a stronger foundation to support me. And in that kind of situation, I can approach the Bhagavad Gita or the scriptures with the guidance of the Guru, right? So now, one more beauty of the Shastra is that, like here we see, Bhagwan hereafter, he of course understands that, Arjuna has come down to, such a point where earlier he had this full set of thoughts going on. Now his thoughts have quietened down. He has put down, not just he has put down his weapons, but he has rested his thinking, and by surrendering to Bhagwan, by resigning to Bhagwan, he has kind of said, okay, now I am open to receive your guidance. So only then, in the 11th verse, Bhagwan starts with the teachings, right? And earlier also, from verse 1.2 onwards till 2.9, what is happening? It is only the seed of this entire teachings of the Bhagavad Gita is being played out. And Arjuna is going on telling whatever he is thinking. So only after one the student has realized that the problem is out of hand. Now I need that higher guidance. Only then will he be able to ask the correct kind of question, right? And Arjuna also goes to ask that question, right? He says that, I am unable to think whether my dharma lies in fighting the battle and conquering the enemy, which is nothing but they are my kith and kin only, right? Or should I fight and lose the battle? So if one is that I fight and conquer them, the other is to fight and get conquered. I don't know which is a better option. One is it dharma or is it adharma on my part by going for this fight? So I am not able to understand the difference between the two. So basically what is he saying in our language? He is saying, I don't know whether to do my duty or not do my duty, to act or not to act. Which of the two is a better option for me in the role that I am playing as per my dharma? So that you explain to me, O Bhagwan. And that is also what we seek, right? It is not about should I fight or not fight. That is not the question that applies to us, but that which comes upon us is, what should I do in this kind of a situation? What is my duty? What is my role? How do I go about it? Right? And then throughout you will see in the Bhagavad Gita, even till the last, even in the 18th chapter also, Bhagwan is giving clarity on this to Arjuna. And Arjuna is also, he is asking questions pertaining to this alone. Wherever he is having these kind of doubts, not about the war or the weapons to use or what strategy to use. No, he is not asking those questions at all. He is asking about how to conduct himself in the world. How is that one person who is different from the rest, who knows what his true nature is, how does that person operate in the world? How is it that, oh Bhagwan, you are also in the same battlefield as me? How come you are not troubled. In fact, you are sitting right in front of me and you are the one who's holding the helm to my chariot. So how, Bhagwan, that, you seem to be so calm and I'm all jittery and I have in fact dropped my weapons. So Arjuna throughout is asking these deeper doubts, which till now in his life, even though he had so many occasions to be with Lord Krishna, but he was unable to ever voice them. But suddenly here in the Kurukshetra, he is facing this battle. All that arose from the thought of these are my kith and kin. This is Bhishma, my grandsire. This is Drona. He is my Acharya. He is the one who taught me the art of warfare. And now I have to face them, and not just face them. Maybe, their death is written in my hands. So how do I perform this action? And won't it lead to sin alone? Right? So throughout, he is asking questions for which answers will not come from the world, but someone who has a complete overview of this world, who is not drawn out by emotions, or who is not drawn down by emotions, who has not come under the sway of the world. So Arjuna is asking such questions, and whenever Arjuna is asking, Lord Krishna is going ahead and answering him. He is not telling ki, "Arey, again, when will you stop? So many questions you are asking." He is not saying any of that. Whenever Arjuna is asking, whatever questions he is asking, even if it seems to be a similar question that he had asked before, he is going and clarifying his doubts. So this is this beautiful relationship of a guru and a shishya, and such that this is again a beauty of our scriptures of Vedanta, that even at the end of it, Bhagwan asks him, "Are you sure? Your doubts are clear? Has your delusion gone? And not just doubts are gone, but has your grief gone? Has that grief gone from you?" So then and only till there is such a point where Arjuna says Nashto Moha Smritir Labdhva. So only when Arjuna confirms that to him, then he says, also he tells him that in case you have doubts, further I will clarify them. And also he tells him in concise way that I have taught you all that I could teach you. And now what is it? Now it is your turn to do as per what your thinking tells you. He doesn't tell him that, now I have taught you everything. Now you better do what I told you to do. No. Here's the beauty of this, the ancient culture or the tradition of the Guru Parampara also, where it is the knowledge is taught. The student is told, now it has to become your wisdom and you have to make the right choices. I have put forth the entire set of options to you. You have to now decide what is best for you. And then what? And then just responsibly implement it for yourself to gain that ultimate victory in life. So this is also what the Mahatmas such as Gurudev as well as Swami Vivekananda, they said that this is the beauty of Vedanta, where it is not that the teachings are imposed on you. They are given to you with the knowledge that it is now your freedom of choice to implement them as best is suited for you. Fine. So we saw about this. We saw about the Guru Upasati, and then further in the 8th verse, he says, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat uchchosham, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat uchchokamushoshanamindriyanam avapya bhumavasapatnamruddham Rajam Suranam Apichadhipatyam. Right? So he said over there that, I do not see, again, this is who? This is Arjuna who is saying that, Bhagavan, now I don't know what is going to be a greater gain by fighting this war. Be it, even if I get some kind of accolades where I have victory over the 3 worlds even, but I don't see any kind of good coming of this war, right? So, despite, as we said, despite his admission that he is unclear about making these decisions, he has his Viveka Shakti. To some extent, it is still active, and therefore he puts that decision, into Bhagwan's hands. Sometimes we tell our elders, we say that, okay, so far I was only telling, that I want to do this, but now I think I have some doubts. Last moment, I am unable to think. Now you decide for me. What do you think is best? Sometimes we do that. When we are unable to make our decisions, then we either resign to Bhagwan or we resign to the elders at home or that guiding mentor, and we submit to their wisdom, right? And here, knowingly, Krishna, he says, oh, finally Arjuna, you have come down to that point where your heart has become silent and you have submitted to me. So thereafter, next of course Sanjaya speaks, but here what has happened? He knows, Krishna knows that now Arjuna has kind of come to that silence where he is going to be able to listen to some reasoning, some logic in terms of what has to be done further and why it should be happening in that way, right? So here also we have to understand that Vedanta doesn't give us temporary fixes to the problems of the world. But what does it do? Vedanta gives us that knowledge of the self, that Brahma Vidya, that which tells us that I am that Brahman, I am that totality, and I am not this individuality, right? Now, is that going to solve my problem? It might not give you, of course, it is not going to solve my problem as such, the problem at hand in this relative plane. That won't be solved by it, but when I am reminded of my truth, of my true swabhava, of my true nature, then the problem at hand in this relative plane is something that I will see as relative only. I will not see it as that absolute. I will not come under the sway of the gunas of this particular identity that I have taken up in this samsara, right? So the problem is limited to a particular situation. That is what will become clear to me, and that I am totally unaffected, no matter how that situation is, no matter what the play of time, place, object, person, seasons, etc., no matter what the situation, it is only temporary. It is not something which is going to be causing me any kind of harm or damage. I am that Satchidananda. I was that Satchidananda. I ever will be that Satchidananda. That in any way is not going to be hindered. So here what I have to I have to have only clarity in my own nature, what is my true self, and right now, as per the role that I am playing, what is my dharma? That clarity in dharma I have to know. According to that, I have to perform my duties. So, this is the clarity which Bhagavad Gita will essentially give to us. And that is also the solution to my grief, or to remove that shoka. Right now my shoka is from what? My shoka is because I am unable to see my true nature. And erroneously I am thinking of myself as something that I am not. And I am so much entangled in that I am tying myself in various ways to this world, and I am saying that aham ete, I mean this whole world is what? This is me and this is mine. So this aham and mama is kind of binding me to this world, and what am I doing? I am trying to find solutions where there are definitely not going to be solutions. Why? Because the world is always changing, and that which I have taken myself to be, that also is ever changing. Okay, so what is it that the world is going to give me? The world is only going to give me shoka. It is only going to give me grief, further grief. So where then should I find the solution? I should find the solution in knowing my true identity. And for that, whom are we approaching? We are approaching Bhagwan Krishna through Arjuna. Okay, so here again, so what we are saying is that, Vedanta will not fix the problem, but it will remind me that the problem is temporary and I am beyond it. Fine. This I have to remember from time to time. This clarity will stop me from coming under the sway of emotions, from becoming part of this samsara. Samsara is what? Ever changing. And that which is imposing dukkha only. Whatever I think as sukha is also ending in dukkha only. Right? So, when I know this very clearly, then my solution lies in not thinking of myself as this body, mind, intellect. Then my solution is not being attached to this body, mind, intellect, dropping this deha buddhi and owning up my true nature as that Brahman. Okay. So then further going, we said Sanjaya uvacha evam uktva rishikesham gudakeshah parantapa nayojya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. And then the next verse also, tamuvacha rishikeshah prahasanniva bharata senayorubhayor madhye vishidantamidam vachaha. So here now Sanjaya comes back and he is talking to whom? He is talking to Dhritarashtra, right? And he is reporting what is happening over there, and then as we said, now what has happened? Arjuna has now told, I am not going to fight. He concludes his thoughts and he says, Bhagwan, I am not going to fight. So in 7th verse he told, I am bowing down to you. You give me guidance. I don't know which is better, to act or not to act. Right? And here now he is saying, I am not going to fight. So when he is saying, I am not going to fight, here what is he trying to say? That I don't see a perfect reason why I should fight. So I know that you are the right person to give me the guidance on why I should go to this battle. Why, as per dharma, and as per the greatest good that you think I should achieve, what is it that I should do? So in terms of that, you give me a complete guidance, is what he's saying. He's not just resigning his fate to Bhagwan. He's saying that I don't know the greater good. Now you tell me what is a proper solution to it, and such a solution which is not pertaining only to this war, but so that further ever I should not come into such a situation where I am able to then decide what is my dharma at any time. I should not have that kind of doubt. So here he says that, here he says, here again, Sanjay, he has been speaking with Dhritarashtra, and it is also as though he is trying to put a plea to Dhritarashtra, and say that, okay, can't you see? Arjuna is kind of submitted to Bhagwan, saying he doesn't want to fight. Even now you have the opportunity. You are the king still. And you still have the opportunity to go and tell Duryodhana, stop this war right now. There is no greater good going to come in any way. Why, it is as though Sanjay is trying to instigate that thought into Dhritarashtra. But you know what? Dhritarashtra has not just been blind from birth, but he has even intellectually been deaf to all such reasoning and thought. So is he Bharata? He is not Bharata. Even though Sanjay is addressing him as Bharata. So as we said, even though he listens to that supreme truth, but he is not really listening. So he is definitely not Bharata over here. Right? But again, who has been listening? Lord Krishna has been listening to Arjuna. And he knows that now, his banter has finally calmed down. And now he is speaking some sense. He has come to that point where he is speaking some sense, and now he will definitely listen to what I have to say to him. And therefore, he's got that smile on his face. Like some of the mothers who are here. When children, otherwise they are not listening. They will only do what they want to do. Mainly it is like teenagers also. They are in that phase when they think they know everything and their reasoning is right. So they will only speak. They will not ask for any kind of advice. So they will say, you only listen to me, don't offer me any kind of advice unless I ask that from you. Right? So sometimes then when they do admit and they say that, Ma, I really need your help. Right? So then that mother will always have that, that knowing smile where she wants to admit that, see, I knew this would happen. But she still wants to be, on top of the situation and, be calm and give that reassurance to the child and say that, yes, I am all ears and here I have the solution to your problem. It is not something out of this world and I have a sure shot solution. So to here, our Jagat Guru, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, he has this kind of a smile on his face where he's trying to, reassure Arjuna and saying, okay, that's okay. You don't have to be so down and upset. I will give you the solution that you have asked for. So here too, what has he done? Bhagavan goes on to say that, okay, so he says, Prahasinna iva idam vachaha uvacha. So he says, hey Bharata, no, so here in the 10th verse, he says, Tamuvacha Rishikesha prahasanniva Bharata senayor ubhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. So what does he say? He further, in the 11th verse, he says, अशोचानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Again I will chant it. Shri Bhagavan uvacha अशोचानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति panditaha. So now before we go to what exactly Bhagavan is saying, here we have to understand that, this is the starting point of Bhagavan's advice, actual advice that begins from 2.11, chapter 2, 11th verse. And here also, and it goes on, of course, till 18.66. Bhagavan goes on to go and discuss further whatever queries are there from Arjuna, he keeps giving that, right? And here is also from where the Shankara Bhashya begins. Shankaracharya ji, he wrote a beautiful commentary explaining this beautiful beautiful composition of Veda Vyas ji, which is the Bhagavad Gita, which is the dialogue between Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Arjuna, right? So then you would ask that, okay, then is chapter 1 till now, is it not required? Of course it is required. It puts the basis for the entire Bhagavad Gita. It is the seed which describes what was the situation then, what is the kind of characters who were there, what exactly is the nature of Arjuna, who is he, what is his character, what are the problems that he is facing, how is his thinking. So this entire part of it, the seed of it is, verse 1.2 till 2.9. Okay. And then I will also give you, for your information, what is the breakup of the verses in the entire chapter 2, so that you have a kind of a flow to it, right? So, but then again, as we said, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, he wrote the Bhashya from this, and it's a brilliant Bhashya also. So here he says that, the crux of the problem is aham esha mama ete. I belong to them and they belong to me, right? So that same aham and mama, I and mine is the problem here. So here aham esha mama ete. It is this bondage or this attachment of Arjuna that suddenly surfaces as he faces the two sides while being in the center of the battlefield, and he realizes that, oh, these are mine, these are all my kith and kin, this is my grandsire, this is my teacher, and these are my brothers, the Dhritarashtra Putras, they are all my Bandhavas, my brothers. So what great achievement will come upon me by winning this war? What will my future generations think? Am I doing them any kind of justice? So his thinking begins from there, right? And his banter begins from there. And this is also our problem in any situation. This I and mine. Where I feel that my dharma is being this doer, this karta. And this karta to provide for whom? This body. which is my prarabdha, which is my karma alone, right? So not just I have to do, but from whatever I do, there are the resultant punya and papa that comes. So those that results which are there, right, that will also come back to me only, right? So not only am I a karta, I am also a bhokta. I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, and then I have my likes and I have my dislikes. There is something which is ishta to me, there is something which is anishta. This is going to lead to what? Raga and dvesha. This is further, if I don't get something, then again it is going to, lead to some kind of anger, some kind of greed that comes upon me, right? So, and all these emotions, what are they going to do? They are only going to bind me to that action and the result of that action therein. And such is the whole scheme of things that it keeps repeating over and over and over. And this has been our story for lifetimes now. Until when? Until we start asking, when will this stop? Right? So here also, it is the crux of the problem which is being pointed out by Adi Shankaracharya ji. He says that, this I and mine, this aham and mama, this is what is causing the problem. What is it causing? It is causing this erroneous notion about my own self. And unless I try to understand who I am, I will keep thinking that the source of my happiness lies in this illusory world. And that is what it is. It is a illusory world. That which was in the past is not now there at all, right? So what am I holding on to? Am I holding on to the people? Am I holding on to my memories? What are those memories? I don't even know what was there in my past, right? Or who I was, 10 years back. I'm not the same person now. So where exactly is my problem? My problem is thinking of myself as that which I am not, right? So, and then what is happening? Because of this relationship that I built to this illusory world, right? The people, the objects, the places, etc. in this life that I have taken to be as real, what happens then is, then that which is, out of that attachment, what has happened? Out of that attachment, or out of the delusion that has come from that attachment, that moha, what has it led me to do? That which is not my dharma, I try to do that, and I go away from that which is my dharma. And that is leading to, again, many wrongdoings, many confusions, right? So therefore here Bhagwan uses the word swadharma parityaga. So failing to do that which is my swadharma, and then pratisiddha seva, that which is not my duty, I go ahead and do that, right? So therefore here also what has happened? Arjuna has forgotten what is his duty. And therefore he says that, I will go and take bhiksha. I will, I don't want to fight the war. I will become a sannyasi and I will take a bhiksha bowl and go. Is that the dharma of a kshatriya? No, that is not, right? And then further what does he say? He says, I don't want to fight. Whereas a kshatriya has to fight in that battlefield, whether he is conquered or whether he is the one who is the conqueror, right? So here essentially, if we have to see, what is it? Here if we see this dharma chain, and this kartrutva, bhoktrutva, etc., what is it going to lead? It is going to lead to ityaha samsara bija bhutau shoka mohav. So basically Bhagwan is saying that this is what is the seed of that shoka and moha. The Shoka and Moha will not leave each other, okay? They are wedded to each other. Because there is Moha, there is delusion. That delusion is going to lead me to grief. It is not going to give me any kind of Sukha. Okay? So here he says that Samsara Bija is what? Is this Shoka Moha, where because I have taken myself as something I am not, I have come into the Moha of this world and I am thinking that to be real and I am doing that which is not my duty and I am running away from that which is my duty, right? So what is going to happen? If I have to drop this samsara, what do I have to do? I have to end the Shoka Moha. Correct? Because that is the bija right now. So, what do I have to do? To drop the world, I have to drop the Shoka Moha. And to end that, what do I have to do? I have to drop this avidya. I have to put an end to this avidya. Avidya, the erroneous notion that I am real and so is this world. I am real as in this body, mind, intellect is real and so is this world that I have taken to be real. This Jagat and this Jiva, that reality that I have given to them, that is what I have to remove. By what? By removing this avidya, right? How will I do that? Through Brahma Vidya, through knowing my essential nature. So now again then you will say, okay, does Bhagavad Gita do that for me? Yes, Bhagavad Gita does do that for you. And in addition, what does Bhagavad Gita do? Bhagavad Gita answers Arjuna's question of, should I act in the world or no? Or should I just sit quietly and meditate? Will that solve my problem? So that problem also of Arjuna's is sorted out, or that problem also of us, whether I should do karma or not do karma, or what is the best way to perform karma. That is what Bhagwan answers in various ways for us, right? So coming back to again summarizing, one is what is the crux of the problem? One is the confusion of dharma. Okay, dharma and adharma, that is one problem. Because he starts with that and he says that I don't know, dharma sammudha cheta. My chetas is not able to think what is dharma and what is adharma, right? So this confusion of dharma, as it is defined for my role, as per my role, that you clear for me. Okay, and then second is the confusion about our true nature. Those two are what are going to clear this Shoka Moha for us. What is the difference between Atma and Anatma? What is my nature? That is the highest truth which is actually being told over here. Right? Now, for your notes, I know we'll conclude with this. Right? So, what is the breakup of the topics that will be taken? Please do note it down. So, one is, as we said, from chapter 1.2 till 2.9 is the whole problem statement of Arjuna. What should he do? What is the problem? All that. The setting of the stage, or rather the bija or the seed of this entire Bhagavad Gita is given in this. Okay. Now, starting from verse number 11. So, now verse number 11 is also called the Pratijna Shloka. It is said to be the Pratijna Shloka, the declaration of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essential teaching of Bhagavad Gita is put forth in this 11th verse. Okay. So, starting from 11th verse to 30th verse is the proclamation of this highest truth, okay, which is nature of Atma and Anatma, right? And this is what is the philosophy which is called the Sankhya Yoga, right? And as we told, What is Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga is telling about the essence or the truth of a thing. Okay. So this is that highest truth. So verse 11 to 30. Then verse number 31 to 38. 31 to 38 it is clearing the delusion about dharma and adharma. Right? 31 to 38 is clearing the delusion of about dharma and adharma. Right? Then 39 to 53. Okay, theek hai, I understood what is the truth. I also understood what is dharma, adharma. But now how do I go about my journey? Because before I was thinking in some other way, now you have told me all these things. Now how do I go about my journey? How do I, prepare myself to attain that highest goal? So that is told from verse number 39 to 53. So Bhagavan talks about Karma Yoga and how to prepare ourselves for it. Preparation to sharpen this inner instrument, that is given from verse number 39 to 53. Now verse number 54 is telling us, Arjuna's question. He then asks, how does that perfect man, the perfect person who realizes that truth, that Jivan Mukta or that Sthita Prajna, how does he operate in the world? So can you give some clarity on that, so that I have some prototype in mind, some ideal in mind, so that I can then compare where I have reached, right? So that is the question asked in 54th verse. Then 55 to 72, Bhagwan gives the indicators of that man of realization, or that Sthita Prajna, or that Jivan Mukta. So yes, so that is the whole structure of the chapter 2. I hope you all have captured that. Now we will take up the 11th verse in the next session. You can, if you have Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita, or if you can read up the chapter 2 part of it, right? So there Gurudev gives a beautiful introduction, an overview you might say, on how education should be. What should be the ideal education? Because he says that education is not complete if we are not aware of all this, that is which is told. What is our true nature? What should be dharma and what should be adharma? Clarity on those aspects. How should I walk towards that goal? What should my equipment be like? How or what are the sadhanas that I should take up? What should I be aware of? So all this, and also of course about the man of realization. So he says, if this is not included in our education, then our education is not complete. Then it is not a holistic education. This is what Gurudev has said. It's very beautiful. Do read up, right? And as we said, the 11th verse is the Pratijna Shloka. We will take it up, and the other verses in the next session. Okay, so that's on Monday. Thank you very much. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Hari Om. Thank you very much.